There we go. Hello and welcome. I apologize. I forgot to unmute my microphone. Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. Harold, right off the bat, thank you for hosting the stream. Thanks for dropping the bomb in the chat there. We appreciate that. Yeah, if you are, like Mr. Bob and Rob, if you are a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Um, if you're like, yeah, I subscribe every month. I use my coin that I get from Twitch Prime because I have Amazon Prime. Check. Make sure that you have renewed. Lashbrook, hello. Because you have to do that manually if you're doing that. If you're spending, $5 or $10, that's automatic. But if you are using your Twitch Prime because you have Amazon Prime, you do have to renew that every month. And if you can do that with me, I would appreciate it. There's a lot of great streamers out there, a lot of great people to support. So I understand why sometimes it doesn't always continue here, but I like it. Having the numbers be high when the numbers go up, that's good. When the numbers go down, it's not as good. Um, you heard it here first from me. Anyway, we've got our Kid Buu. Oh, Kid Buu, right here, hanging out. We're gonna finish Kid Buu. We got to do some legs. We're gonna put it together. The blast that Kid Buu is sending out. Uh, Mr. Bob posted on Discord. Uh, Still doesn't know what that is. Mr. Bob, Discord is just IRC. It's IRC for gamers. That's all it really is. There are a bunch of chat room channels. Okay, so actually here it is. Discord is IRC and TeamSpeak. So it's going to allow, there are rooms that we can set up. Like, I could set up a channel if one of these days, if my game stream that I was doing, if I wanted to set up a voice chat, if we were going to play like Overwatch and I wanted us, anybody in the crew could join the voice channel, I could set that up on my server. Or I could just have, like I have here, a bunch of categories. Um, so it's integrating a bunch of different things. Also, it's available as an app, which is very convenient if you want to post something. You can use the app on your smartphone, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it does a bunch of stuff, and there's other things I don't know. I don't know what Turbo does. I do know that eventually I could do something where I could use it instead of Skype to record things, and that sounds good. I have done a couple podcasts using Discord as a way to like balance everyone's audio. Anyway, Discord's kind of cool. I got it mainly because I was like, oh, it has good Patreon integration. I should use it. That's really all the reason. But welcome, Mr. Bob, to my Discord. It'll be in the show description, the link to my Discord channel, as well as I'll mention it in the middle of the show. Um, Anyway, yes, Discord did a good job at PAX. They do a continually good job. At PAX West last year, they had Player Unknown come by, and they had free popcorn. It was good. Anyway, hello and welcome. This is a build stream. It's not just me talking about Discord. That's my other show, Discordance with Pat Bear. That's not great, but it was what I came up with. Anyway, here's the overhead shot. We got King Buu. We only really only have this left, so no need for our shelving unit. We're gonna work on a Lego kit soon. Popcorn unknown. Good, Lashbrook. That's good. Um, yeah, so working on Kid Buu, which was purchased by Harold for my birthday. It is still my birthday month. It's also close to the end of the month, so on Saturday I will be giving away 2 model kits. So if you want to be there live for that, 2 subscribers will win a kit. It is the kit that I wanted to give out last month. The person did never reply to my messages as I tried to reach out to them. So I'm going to give it away to another subscriber as well as another kit. There'll be 2 kits I'll be giving out. That'll be on Saturday. But yeah, we've got our Kid Buu. I went with Kid Buu's happy face. He's got an angry face as well. But I think the happy face with these hands is creepy. You can take a look at that. I think that's a creeptacular. Look at that. Hee hee. Thinking evil stuff, Kid Buu. Anyway, I made a foot and basically part of the waist here just to kind of get my fingers moving, get it warmed up. As you know, I do like to do some clipping pre-show to kind of warm my hands, get those going. Um, but yeah, we'll do some building today. We'll do a Lego set. That's right. I have a Lego Y-wing starfighter to build. Y-wing is one of my favorite sets, or one of my favorite models in the old Star Wars universe. Very excited to build that. 242. Just trying to find this piece that I need here. 14 and 10. But yeah, I'm excited to start. I haven't done a Lego set in a while. It's been a lot of Gundams and then Kid Buu here. So it'll be good to mix it up. There are probably a few people that have been watching me stream that haven't seen me do a Lego set because it's been a couple months, I think. So that'll be good. I'm excited for that. I hope you're excited as well. Um, and yeah, just putting stuff together. I'm excited for this. As always, excited for the stream. I very much enjoy being able to do these streams. So I'm glad that you're here with me as I do this. Appreciate y'all being around. Hopefully, a few more people will pop in. But if not, it'll be a tight, small crew, and I don't mind that either. I know that it is an understatement to say that things are not great right now for a lot of people, and I hope that this can be a little bit of just a fun evening for folks. Talk about some stuff, but try to be positive and caring and have a fun time. Talk about some light subjects and enjoy ourselves. Yeah. And all right, and then we're just building up our legs here. Kid Buu has a lot of definition in his legs, so we got to put a bunch of pieces on there. 35, 11, and 12. 5 is over here. Right. Nice and easy. Lego Voltron is a thing now. Did not know that, Mr. Bob. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to take a look at that. Lego Voltron sounds pretty fun. Wouldn't be opposed to building something like that. As usual, I do a lot of Star Wars stuff because it is Lego goes in heavy on Star Wars. I really like building Lego kits, and they're plentiful, and people seem to like watching me build those. So I've kind of almost exclusively done those kind of kits. So obviously, we did the Ecto 1. Was the first kit a Lego set I built on stream. Which was very, very fun to do. But yeah, certainly not against doing other kits in the future, and other kinds of kits. There's some Marvel stuff that's pretty fun that I wouldn't be opposed to doing if it came up. All right, so we're just putting this leg together as always. Put that like that, and then okay. So we talked about this before. Hello, board. Welcome. Light subjects. What kind of lighting do you use for your setup? Harold, funny you should mention that. You may notice a little more shadows in this one because I upgraded my lights. I am working. I'm going to look these up. I want to tell you about these lights because they're not putting off too much heat, which is good, but they are very bright. So let me go and look in my let's see. These are full spectrum light bulbs. 105 watts for daylight for photography, photo, video, studio lighting. These are huge. I'm going to put a link into the chat for you to look at. How weird is it both DC and Lego? Hey, Lego is a way to print money, so everyone will get on board. I'm not surprised at that. So these are the light bulbs that I just purchased. This is the first time using them. They arrived Monday, and they are pronounced, and I'm very excited about that. It seems to have mostly solved the problem. Sorry, excuse me, behind me. But these are bright, giant bulbs. They're very, very large. Uh, I'm into them. But yeah, no, as you said, Mr. Bob, Lego is the ability to print money. So yeah. Now there's some stickers. We're gonna try to do the Majin sticker. I am not gonna apply all the stickers to the feet. There'd be four we would do. We do two on here and two on there. I'm not gonna apply those. Whoever wins this down the road is more than welcome to do that. But that is not something I have an interest in at the moment. It's not within my skill base is applying these stickers, so I'm not going to. Just not good at it, so choosing to not worry about it. All right, so that's a leg done. We can move on to our other leg here, which is over here on this sheet. All right. Yeah, so we'll build our other leg, then we'll build the waist. And then we'll put that M on there at some point. There, and there's a leg. Studio specific lighting. Yeah. So this lighting is meant for daytime effect in photography. I'm using them as part of a kit with umbrellas, so the bulb is shining on the umbrella and being reflected back. These lights are economically friendly. They are trying to approach daytime. The basic idea is I want this area here obviously to be well lit, and I want it to be not too much of a big deal for the green screen behind me. You know, I am using a green screen, so I do need better lighting than when I was just in front of a black curtain, which obviously those that you have been here for a while know that's how I started out, with just a black curtain that I did my show in front of. And now I've upgraded, obviously, my setup to use the green screen, and that requires better lighting. I got this lighting kit from a friend, which has been very beneficial. And I've been tooling around with bulbs. The bulbs that he gave me weren't that great. They were expensive for him at the time, but didn't really do what I needed. So I've been experimenting with a bunch of stuff. These came recommended on a few message boards about green screen, particularly for what I'm doing here. So yeah, I gave it a shot, and they weren't that expensive, and figured I'd give it a go. There are certainly more expensive bulbs out there, but these seem to be serving me pretty well. So, happy to give them a shot, and we'll see. Obviously, like I said, it's the first day using them, so I'm not saying that I'm done with working on my setup. All right, so put that in there. Goes in there, and then we're running low on pieces here, which is good. Moving along. These kits don't take too much time to build. The only kits of these Dragon Ball figures is the Vegeta, which takes a while because you're also building the circular pod spacecraft, and so that takes a while. And then there's also, I believe, an action figure model kit of Trunks in the time machine, and I'm sure that's more involved. But these are pretty basic as far as these kind of kits go. Especially Kid Buu, obviously small person. You don't have the shadow effect on the bottom right now. Yes, Mr. Bob. Immediately, that is one of the first things, is that the light over in this area that usually causes a problem is way brighter. I've also pulled the green screen behind me more taut. You can still see there's a little bit over there. You can probably pick it out if you really look, but it is far better than it has been lately. I still have to balance the lighting here that's hitting the table, this light over here, so that I don't cause as many shadows as I'm making. But that's something I can dial in the future, certainly. But overall, it's immediately better than previous attempts. So I am happy for that. All right, I'm having a little trouble getting these boots on. Okay, there we go. All right, that's a foot. And now we're going to do basically what we did with the last set. We just start putting pieces together, finish it all up. Yeah, I enjoy these Dragon Ball kits. They're pretty basic, but I like working on humanoid-looking figures instead of, robots. It's nice to do that. Can you rig a green screen like a mainsail on a boat? Mr. Bob, I assume you could do that. It is a green screen is just after all a green sheet, so it's certainly within the realm of possibility that is something you could do. Now, me myself, many people would say, Pat, you should just paint the wall behind you green. Get a really good color green, and you should just use that. And those people are right. That's what I should do. Because what I'm doing now is I have what do you call it? Velcro anchors away. I have Velcro on this sheet. So the green is right now like one side is on there, and one side is on the wall, and then I can take it down, and there's just some Velcro strips along my wall, which is not ideal. I would prefer to have it be something else. So I've looked into maybe painting that wall green, like the wall behind me green. I would run into the problem of the curtain in the corner being not green either. So I would have to, I don't know, I would have to change where I am right now. Well, no, so I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. I might just keep doing what I'm doing here. I do like just using a green sheet. That has been pretty helpful. Painting a wall would mean less wrinkles, certainly, because I do have wrinkles on this sheet, and it would solve that problem. So it is something I have considered. And eventually it might be something that ends up, I end up doing, but I don't know. Construction is happening in the apartment right next to me, and at this time of night, they're still working inside. I have to assume they are behind schedule. So I had to close a window that is not quite near here, so I am not getting a breeze that I've been getting lately, and that and the new lights is causing quite a bit of sweat. So I apologize if I look a little sweaty. All right, why don't we talk about? Let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about some anime stuff. Now, first and foremost, I was disappointed to find out this is something I did not verify originally until I realized it had not been updated. So when a series comes out, I don't go and read the manga. I just watch the anime, and then I keep watching it or I stop watching it, or maybe I'll take a break and go back to it. Those are kind of the only things. So I don't look up what happens in future parts of the manga or anything like that. I just kind of go with what I'm interested in. So I guess if I had gone to the Wikipedia page for Love is Hard for Otaku, I would have known that they only were making 11 episodes. Obviously, I assume every show is making more than that. I'm always going to assume that a show is making. Oh shoot! Did this wrong because I'm mad. So I always assume that a show has 12 episodes and maybe even 13 if you're lucky. Occasionally, a show has 13 episodes. And it's like, oh, cool. Or 13 is the OVA, but you're fine because you watched the whole thing anyway. So come to find out, it's an 11-episode show. Now, to be fair, the 11th episode, which aired last Thursday, was good. It was a good close to the first season. It left a lot of unanswered stuff and left some places for it to go. But I still thought that there could be another episode. It didn't have to be. They could have answered some stuff and then asked a few more questions as it went. So I was disappointed because I thought I had another episode of it. I still recommend it. Still a very good show. But I thought I had one more. And that's all it is. I just thought I had one more episode. So yeah, bored. It was a bummer. Because like I said, thought I was getting a little bit more podcast. Or not podcast. Thought I was getting a little more anime. So all my anime is done. Now that that's done. But next week, a bunch of stuff's coming out. It seems like a bunch of things are coming out on the 6th. And there are even more things coming out before that, or no, on that date. So there are things happening on the internet. There are new shows coming out to Crunchyroll. I haven't really looked at anime. I haven't looked to see what is coming out here. I'm not sure what we're getting. Why is this not? But I will be looking at what's coming on Amazon. I should say. Sorry. Board says Gun Gale Online has been very disappointing. Yeah, I stopped watching. I might go back to it. Some of y'all were real into it, and I was watching mainly because like I said, y'all were pretty into it. And so I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. And then it took a turn that I wasn't interested in. And yeah, I kind of got out of it. Kind of not into that show. Speaking of shows, we can talk about what's coming out. Crunchyroll mentioned 3 other series that are coming out. I'll start with the 2 that I'm not interested in, because this may surprise you, may not surprise you. I'm not super into sports anime. Some sports anime I like, some sports anime I do not like. We've got 2 sports anime coming out of all-girl teams. We've got Harukana Receive, which is a beach volleyball show. And we've got Hainbad, which I believe is a badminton show. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have interest in either of those shows. I could not fake being interested in either of those things. Just does not appeal to me. Could be, I could be wrong. They could be both very good. I'll be obviously paying attention. But as of right now, not interested. One show that I am interested in, though, I'm going to look up the name of it. It's Chino, right? Chio's School Road. And apparently it is the story of a young lady who's just trying to go to school. And on her walk to school, weird stuff happens every day. And some of it's like run-ins with her best friend, and some of it's like weird extraterrestrial magic stuff or something. But that sounds interesting. So I'm going to give that a shot. That's added to my queue of shows I want to check out. And of course, Attack on Titan is continuing. And what else is going on still? Attack on Titan will still have, and My Hero Academia, and Steins Gate Zero, and that Bed and Breakfast show, and Black Clover is continuing. And of course, Overlord 3 is coming out. I think Overlord 3 might be this Sunday. If it's not this Sunday, it's next Sunday. So I'm excited to have anime that right now there is one show I know I'm going to watch, and a bunch that I might watch. So I'm only have days considering moving from Funimation to Crunchyroll because of the My Hero delay. Yeah, I mean, My Hero was pretty emotional. It got pretty it was pretty great this week. I was really pleased with it. It was cool. All Might, and it's just like I don't want to spoilers. People haven't watched it, but it was rad. It was a really solid episode, and I would recommend checking it out if you've been watching that show, so you can see what happened. But yeah, it's just getting better and better. Um, Third plate ended up being pretty damn good for Food Wars. I think the beginning part of it I didn't love. I'm no you're no stranger to hearing me talk about that. That it wasn't the strongest episodes, but this tournament, this battle Shogeki has been really strong. So I've been into it. Oops. Really need to marathon My Hero. Only watched the first. Oh yeah, bored. The second season is so great, and the third season is like it's still going on. Has been like really sad, like lots of emotions, not just like the like never give up stuff. There's been some fucking reality. Second season is really good because it spends time on first it introduces a bunch of other characters, some of whom are great, but it also spends time on some of the characters you don't get to see much of. Uh, it really expands the world in a great way, as it has season three. My Hero, yeah, it's just a really strong show. Okay, so I put on the Majin sticker here. You can see it there. It's gold. You can see it there. Kind of fucked it up, but it's mostly on. Like I said, I'm not going to do the wrist or leg bands. So I can put that away because I'm done working on it. All right, now all we do is slip these on here. Legs here. I hear things about episode 50. I can't see it until 7's. Yeah, that is rough. I mean, I always say this: if you really want to watch things dubbed, you wait. If you're cool with subtitles, I say just watch when you can. I know some people subtitles are tough. They need to be able to listen actively while watching. They can't just be reading and watching. And I get that. That's not me, but I do understand it. Uh, but yeah, I read a really interesting thing about Black Clover, which I kind of didn't think was that good, but some people are really, really into it. It is hard to swap from dub to sub because you get used to the voices. Uh, yeah, you know the character's voice. Dragon Ball, I managed to do that. Okay, so this back plate here is for attaching to a stand, which we don't have a stand for this, but an action stand, any of the Bandai action stands, I think it's 2 is the number, would fit into this, which is just, I can take that off. We don't need that plate on our Kid Buu. And then we're going to make the energy ball, which we can also make into an energy blast here. We'll make those two parts now. Yeah. Got our energy blast and our energy ball to make, so we can make those. I started subbed, and then at some point, for only the dubs. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It seems like that's a show that I know a lot of people, when the second season came out, people were like, why is everyone talking about this show? Why is this show suddenly so popular? And I think a lot had to do with it. It's a very good dub. I'll say this. The show that I watched, the most recent show that I watched a lot of dubbed was I had a trial in Funimation, and I watched most of Fairy Tail dubbed, which is a good dub. They changed some jokes around here and there, but overall, I think it's like a pretty solid dub job. Uh, and then I went back to watching later. Then I watched the subtitled, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty good. Um, there's a few things like that weren't as good, but for the most part, it's pretty good dub. And yeah, like I said, I haven't watched any of dubbed My Hero, but I'm sure it's good. Like I said, I'm excited for new anime. Um, but yeah, people I'm talking to, I think I said a minute ago, have been talking about uh, Black Clover being good, and I just thought the first couple episodes didn't really do it for me. But I guess all the new characters are really good, and I will say this: I do love that the main character seems to just be stupid. He's just a big dumb idiot, and I do like the idea of this. I did not know this when it first started airing, and I think that maybe I would have paid more attention if I had known that this was his deal. This is a dude that wants to be the Wizard King. He wants to be the biggest, baddest, best wizard in the land. And he has no magical abilities. So a lot of magic is through this like channeling thing called a grimoire. It's like a book you can summon. And so the grimoire that he summons is a sword that cuts through and can stop magic, which is the perfect thing for him because he has no magic. So he just has an anti-magic sword, basically. But that's his magic, is summoning it. And he also isn't just still a stupid idiot. And I don't know, I'm coming around on it. There's something about that like makes me laugh. I'm not saying I'm going to run out and catch up on it, but that did pique my interest more than because I thought it was going to be another like they really hinted it was like the rivalry between these two guys, like two guys raised in an orphanage, but that one guy's like around, but it's not. It's not about the two of them. It's about one of them. So now that I know that, I'm kind of more interested. All right, that's the last of this. Now we just got to assemble this purple bolt of energy. This goes like this. This. Watch subbed anime, but dubbed is very important for wider audience. Yes, you're certainly right. It is important to be able to be out there for people to watch. You know, people want to see this stuff and want to be able to engage in it, and you've got to be able to appeal to a wide crowd. And some people just want to watch dubbed anime; they don't want to watch subtitles. I get it. I'm okay with that. All right, so here's Buu's. Whoops, that didn't work. Big energy blast, ball, and big energy blast. Finish Majin Buu here. We gotta do like that. I don't know. You know how it works. So that's Majin Buu. Oh, Majin Buu's arm just fell apart. Probably moved it too hard here. These are a little delicate sometimes, these kits. They're posable, but they're not meant to be full-on toys, you know what I mean? Like once you build them, you should be a little careful with them. But anyway, yeah, that's Majin Buu. Finished our Buu. Put that over here. Put that there. I can put this aside. Great. Okay. So ball. Yeah, so we finished Buu. So now we're going to move on to our next kit. Jump in here. I'm going to move these up some. Put that aside. We don't need that for a little while here. We'll keep this just for sticker application or decal application. We can put Buu aside. But yeah, we've got our Star Wars Y-Wing. Very excited to build a Y-Wing. We've got a lot of decals to build here, but they're big. These are big old decals, so I'm not super worried about them. And like I said, I do have the ability to use. I do have my sponger. Buu is done. Yes, Harold, thank you so much for buying Buu off the wish list. I'll mention that later. I'm going to tweet out that we're starting on the Y-Wing. Let me just get on the old Twitter here. And tweet out that's what's going on so people can join in. Oops. Real quick. Great. Okay, so we're going to do a Y wing. Just quickly check that. And yeah, away we go. Yeah, so this is our Y wing. So we'll have a back here for our extra because Lego always has extra. Oh, I'll talk about this in a second. Um, so while we null, because the first step is to null bag one and get our pieces together for bag one. We will assemble and kind of do it by color, and then we'll start building. So I have wristbands on my wrist because this weekend is the 20th annual Del Close Marathon at the UCB Theater, New York. Del Close was a pioneer of improv. He, along with others in Chicago, developed the long-form improv structure known as the Herald, along with the movie form and a lot of other deconstruction and a lot of other things that improv styles that are still used today and structures that are still used today. He also trained the UCB. At the time, it was a 5-person group. Many of the UCB members he trained. Was instrumental in a lot of stuff. He is the announcer for the opening credits for the Upright Citizens Brigade TV show. That was his contribution to that. He was an actor and a witch and an activist and a monster of a person. He was not a great person. Many demons, not great. They were problematic at best, I would say, but he also championed the style of comedy, and so for the anniversary of his death, the UCB decided to do an improv marathon, and it's continued to this day. This is the 20th one. So I have a wristband here because it is a RIP instead of VIP because I am a very important person. So I have my RIP wristband to get me into places here, and an over 21 so I can go to a particular location. Even though I don't drink, it's important to have that over 21 thing. Like I said, even though I'm not a drinker, it's still good to have that stuff. So right now we're just nulling. I'm just separating the pieces by color and putting our minifig pieces aside as well. There'll be some pieces that, there's only one color of it. So I might just put it in the whatever category. But we'll have light gray, we'll have dark gray, we'll have black, we'll have yellow. These are the bigger, our more prominent colors here. We've got some navy blue here that we can put in our whatever color section. We got some clears. Oop. Pieces are moving around. That's fun. But yeah, so we got an improv festival this weekend. I will be working it, but I will still have my normal stream from 9 to 11 on Thursday. So I'm excited to do that. It's Saturday. Today's Thursday. Saturday, I'll still have my normal stream. I will probably be pretty tired because I'll have worked 8 hours that day and then come home and napped, and then I will be streaming. So I will probably be a little knackered, but not too bad. Hopefully it'll be fine. But yeah, looking forward to it. Hope that people tune in on Saturday is for my giveaway, just cause. And then I did get asked this Saturday is the last day in June. People asked me if I was going to continue doing the 2-hour streams or I was going back to 1.5 hours because I did that for mainly to try out here in June as my birthday month as a celebration. And I have decided that I am going to continue to do streaming for 2 hours. So that's the goal right now, is that for continuing on now, it will be 9 to 11 p.m. on Thursdays and Saturdays from this point going forward, always streaming 2 hours a session. Once I realized it was something that felt good and people seemed to like, I decided I'm going to keep doing it. So y'all have that to look forward to. Nice long streams from now on. Hope you enjoy. Mr. Bob was saying, thinking about going to the first pro wrestling show, and it's Cody Rhodes. Uh, Cody Rhodes is a great entertainer. This is a great time to be a fan of Mr. Rhodes. He's doing good work out there. Um, yeah, it's a good time. And live wrestling is the best. Televisionized wrestling is fine. It's good. You get to hear the commentators. You get to hear the storyline stuff go through. But live wrestling is, I mean, it's a carnival show, right? So live is better. Um, High school gymnasiums are great places to watch wrestling. Uh, Upstairs from a Chinese restaurant is a great place to watch wrestling. Outdoor parks are great places to watch wrestling. Like there's this video out there somewhere of a retirement home, and one of the people living there was an avid wrestling fan and would go all the time up until she eventually had to move into the home. And even as an older lady, she would go consistently. And so she kept talking about wrestling and watching wrestling, and people that had watched it previously, for years and years ago that watched it live, started watching with her, and it became this whole thing. So this wrestling promotion brought a ring and set up chairs outside the retirement home, and brought all these people out, and these wrestlers performed, and they had men fight women, which some of the older folks hadn't seen before, and like the woman that they came because the old fan got in what looked like a pretty tough chop on a guy, like a real slap. And it just wasn't. And then you pan over, and then there's people in their work uniforms watching and cheering too. And it's just it really got me. I know I'm a broken record. I fucking love wrestling. But live wrestling is so beautiful, and such a fun experience to be a part of, that I highly recommend it. If you're ever I like wrestling, but you're not sure if you love wrestling, even then, uh, it's in the last place I saw Ringling Brothers. Okay, yeah, yeah, Coliseum Wrestling. The Show Palace. There's a bunch of outdoor. I've seen wrestling in places I've also seen rodeo. So wrestling kind of works anywhere as long as you have enough room for a ring. Honestly, you can do it without a ring, but it's better with a ring. I'm very happy to be working on Lego. As you know, it has been a while since I did Lego on the stream, and I don't build it on my own time. So I'm excited. Very happy to be doing this. We'll do probably another model kit after this when this is done. This is 600 pieces, so we'll be a while. There's quite a few bags of pieces to build, so it'll be a bit before we get back into needing to know what the next thing is, which is also nice. So we turn that there. I have to double check. Okay. This is a little weird because it's using both colored grays, as you can see there. You might be able to tell. These are two different colored grays, and that was odd, so I wanted to double check, but apparently that's right. And we're working on some sort of weapon. So Mr. Bob, I wouldn't call myself a rodeo fan. I have only been to 2 rodeos. I will say that I was an engaged rodeo audience member, that it caught my attention, and I enjoyed what I saw. Do I remember the names of anyone who performed? Did I follow up on it? Have I been back since? No. But I did enjoy myself. So I would say that I am the casualist of casual fans when it comes to rodeo. I'm a rodeo appreciator. All right, so working on the... Oh, this is a backpack. I didn't even realize we were building a backpack. All right. Let's put this on here. That and this last blue piece. Go on here. All right. We got some cool minifigs we're building here. Always fun to build cool minifigs. All right, yeah, this is a backpack that we're going to put on our Wookiee. Our Wookiee-ish guy here. This is a very interesting custom piece. It's really solid and thick. Uh, oh, watched Big Honor Roll in Canada, and Cody Rhodes came out in a giant headed bear with a shirt and tie. I was really confused. The commentary was in French, so I didn't know why. Yeah, I don't know why either. I honestly I haven't been keeping up as much as I should, so I can't help you on that. Just know that he had an idea of what he was doing. He had a thought. All right, cool. We got this guy here. Not a Wookiee, but we got some fun minifigs. We'll put those aside and take care of them later. All right, let's get to building. Let's get some modern stuff. Of course, we have our separator. These come in any major kit is going to have a separator. Some of the smaller kits don't, but all the major kits do. Very handy, very helpful for removing pieces, poking pieces out. I still got my separator, and if necessary, tweezers. Separator. The flanger here is mostly going to be for decal additions because it gives me more control. But mostly this is just following along, doing what they tell, trying to make sure I don't miss any steps, going back if I do. The big thing is recognizing the difference between the light gray and the dark gray, that my eyesight is not great for that. These lights are actually very helpful. It's very bright. I've, of course, obviously been um, but normally it's not as bright when I do this, so this has been helpful to have. I apologize if I ever stop speaking here, like in the middle of a sentence, and lose my train of thought. That's very unprofessional, and I apologize for that. But it's probably going to come up again. I'm a little spacey right now, so I do apologize for that. Um, no good explanation, no other than to apologize. But yeah, I'm a little off today in general. I ran around, did a bunch of stuff, um, kind of like last second. I'm a creature of habit. I like having a few hours of my day when I wake up, do things, to get things done before I head out to complete tasks. And today I woke up and someone was like, "Oh, I can be here at this time," and it required me to basically shower and leave my apartment immediately, which I don't normally do. I normally kind of sit around and get stuff done, eat lunch at home. So I was out the door in a way that kind of shook me, and it's stuck with me the whole day. Kind of threw my whole day off. It's not great. It'll be okay, but yeah, I'm feeling a little off right now. All right, so we're putting some yellow on this here on our Y wing here. Building this thing. Okay. And there. We just have one bag out there, which is helpful, making it easy to find the pieces we need. Getting some stuff done. I'm trying to center this. I should center this especially while it's still small, so you can see what I'm doing. He is still traveling with the bare-headed man. Okay. Yeah, like I said, not been keeping up. I've been keeping up a little bit of Maine wrestling stuff. The UK stuff has been very interesting. I've been into that. Pardon me. That's been engaging. Um, so I'm keeping up with some of the main product stuff, but just been busy lately. I want to get back into it. I mentioned it on Twitter, but I'll mention it here that I submitted all the panels I need to submit for PAX West. I submitted 3 panels. One of them is League of Heels, as you could probably guess. Aaron usually does that, but Aaron is doing some work, and he moved at the beginning of this year and is taking care of some business for a new business, I should say, getting ready for his new business. And so he will not be at PAX West, so I took the lead on preparing our on all that, getting our stuff together, getting ready for. I'm going to announce it right here. You get to hear it right now. I'm only going to talk about it on stream. League of Heels. West Coast Wishes. That's right. That's the name of our next show. Is West Coast Wishes. I'm not going to say what that means or anything else about it, but that's going to be our PAX West show, and I am, as always, excited for it because I like doing that show, and I think people will enjoy what we've got for them. Where is this piece? Seem to be missing a piece. Huh. I saw it before. Oh, here it is. Great. Found it. Couldn't find it. Now I found it. West Coast Wishes, Last Brook, doesn't mean anything. It has no it's not short for anything. It doesn't become any kind of acronym. It's just West Coast Wishes. That's all it is. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be cool. Then, of course, I submitted the improvised post-mortem, which I did twice. I've done twice so far. I did previous year at PAX West, and then I did this is like we're going to build a crane thing here. So let's finish this crane. And did it at PAX East as well, and had a ball doing it at PAX East and PAX West. Proof of concept has proven that it is good and people like it. People were really. We had a good audience Thursday at 9 p.m. The first time I did it on that coast, so that was good. It felt very good. It was also the first Thursday ever at PAX because it was the first time they had done a 4-day. So to even have that many people on Thursday night, I was very happy. And I have the hope that this will do well again in the West Coast. I think it's a good show. And I did not submit 404ing it. I'm going to take one show off 404ing it. Maybe I will do it again at Unplugged. I'm not 100% sure. I'm still think I'm going to go to Unplugged, but there is a chance I won't be able to go to Unplugged. So I kind of been holding off getting ready for that. Kind of waiting for PAX West to be over, and then I'll figure that out. But if I do go to Unplugged, I'll probably do 404 it there. But yeah, I'm going to take a show off. I very much enjoy 404ing it. I love it a lot. But this last one was not my favorite. My guests were all fantastic. Wonderful guests. I was thrilled to have all of them to perform and be there. But everything came in really hot. And I think the show suffered because of that. And I'm not interested in doing shows like I don't want to do shows. I want to do shows that people like know how much effort and work went into it. And I feel like that one, didn't have the effort it needed. All right, so our kind of crane sled here is done. So we can put that aside. We got that done, and now we can work on a little bit more of this Y-wing here. So yeah, so that right now that's there's another panel. I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm waiting to hear back from them before I announce what I'm going to do. But obviously, League of Heels and Improvised Postmortem, I felt like I could tell people about that. But the other ones right now are kind of we're going to leave it to be a bit of a mystery. The other one that I'm doing. But I'll say this. I think you'll like it. I'm putting some thought into it about how to do it right, and I think it's going to, if it gets accepted, because I think it will, that people will be into it. So that's the hope anyway, is that people will be into it. Of course. Why am I doing it if I don't think people will like it, right? Some stuff has to be for you, but sometimes you want to do things that you also think other people will like. Yeah. That's basically it. Let's see. We're just working on our kit here. Building more stuff. Got to put another decal on. Let's call it a sticker, but I mean it's a decal. Let's be real. But yeah, I'm excited for PAX West. It's nice to have something to look forward to. Birthday was the thing that I was kind of looking forward to in the birthday stream from last week. That's on my YouTube channel if you didn't watch it live. It was very fun to do a live stream there. Kind of I have not played, um, it's been, days now. Have not played what am I thinking? What's the name of it? Oh, House Flipper since. So it kind of closed the door on House Flipper, which is good. It's good to kind of close the door on it. All right, so we got some language we're going to put on here. Got a decal. Going to pop this decal on. But yeah, it was. I enjoyed that stream, so I'm glad people were able to hang out for it. And it was 4 hours, which 2 hours of games, and then 2 hours of model kit building was a lot. I'm happy it went so well, but I was nervous about it. But thanks for everybody who tuned in and hung out. That was very nice of y'all. All right, keep building there. A couple more decals left, not too many, which is good. Okay. All right, so let's keep working on the pieces that we have here. If there's anything you want to talk about tonight, now's a great time to jump in. I didn't say it earlier. If you're working on anything, I talked about Discord. I'll mention it in a couple minutes. We'll take a break in a couple minutes. Once I finish this bag, I'll take a break for the ad stuff, promotion, all that. But yeah, if you have anything you want to talk about, throw it in the chat there. If you're working on anything, building anything, I always love to hear from folks about what they're working on, so feel free to let me know if you're working on anything. I'd love to see that. It's a good vibe when that stuff works, when people are like, let me know what they're working on. I like seeing that stuff. I love following along, so feel free to let me know what you're doing. Yeah. Kind of a little bit of a low light energy tonight. Thursdays are often a little bit more hectic than Saturdays, so I'm actually surprised. All right, yes, this is the back sled of our crane thing here. So we're gonna put these. These are our missiles. Most kits have missile launchers in them, and so that's all that is. And then touch there. Oh, we got a new follower, Idom. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're not following, please give it a little consideration. And you can set your notifications to get notified when I'm streaming. And if you've been following for a long time, maybe now is a good time to get on board as far as subscribing. I'm going to do this under the table so you don't have to hear it. But yeah, maybe now's a great time for you to become a subscriber and support the channel. We're going to unbag bag 2 here in a moment, but I felt like right now is a good time to talk about the ways you can support the channel. One is obviously follow if you aren't already. Become a subscriber if you aren't already. There's also subscriber. You can use your Twitch Prime. If you have Twitch Prime, you can integrate it with Amazon Prime. I'm sorry. If you have Amazon Prime, you can get Twitch Prime. It's free, and you get 1 token a month to add to any account. And it acts just like if you spent $5. You can also spend $5. There's also a Patreon I have. Just lost a $10 backer, down below $100 again. Trying to get back to that big 100, because 150, at $150, I'm going to stream 3 times a month, right? So, or a week, not a month, 3 times a week. That's what I'd love to get to. My goal is to get to $150 a month so that I can stream 3 times a week. Especially now that I'm doing it 2 hours a time, that'll be 6 hours a week, and I definitely can't do 6 hours a week worth of building if I don't have the monetary support to do that. That's just where I'm at right now. My Amazon wish list is a great way to support. A lot of people bought me stuff this month for my birthday month, which was last Saturday. Thank you very much if you bought something. If you haven't, take a look, see if there's anything you'd be interested in purchasing. I'm constantly updating and adding things and taking things away to my wish list. Would love to get some more stuff there. I have my Ko-Fi, coffee, however you want to call it. That's for tips. These light bulbs were bought with those tips. The new bulbs I have in here that are making this job a lot easier for me to do were purchased thanks to the money that comes in from that. So that's another way you can support me. And then I have this Discord. If you want to jump in, it's pretty quiet. People promote themselves in one section. Another section where a few people show off the stuff they're building. I promote the show, of course, so you can always jump in for that kind of promotion. That's just another way to do it. Buildware community Discord. Feel free to join that. And yeah, and then like I said, subscribe if you haven't, follow if you haven't, and then tell a friend. Maybe you can give me a retweet when I go live, or you can just tell someone that you know would like this. Hey, did you know that Pat Baer does a build stream? He makes Lego kits and Gundams, and he talks about anime and wrestling and all kinds of stuff, and it's fun. You should check it out. That's all you have to do, because somebody you know, this could be their next favorite thing, or just a thing they like. I don't know. So anyway, that's all I gotta say for there. We're gonna build our minifigs, and we're going to knoll our pieces into different color categories here, as always. Do our best to separate everything quickly and efficiently and make it easier for us to build. One of the things about using this big table that's great is I have a lot more room than when I was using a smaller table that I had for a while, and I'm able to properly knoll, because I couldn't really knoll the way I would like to on that table. So I'm very happy to have this one. It makes things way easier. But yeah, if there's anything you want to chat about tonight, anything you've got on your mind, give me a shout. In this last hour, we're going to go till 11. We might stop a little early, but the goal is to, as always, is to do the full 2-hour stream, because I want to, and I have fun doing it. So, yeah, if there's anything you want to chat about, feel free to let me know. Throw a bear cave. Hey, how about this? Throw a bear cave emote out there. If you're a $5 subscriber, $10 subscriber, you have a bear cave emote, throw that in the chat. Let me know what's up. That's helpful. But yeah. And we'll, well, no, Lashbrook, thank you for that. We'll hang out. But yeah, I'm a little bummed before the end of the month that I lost a $10 board. Thank you very much. $10 folks, as you know, get $5 folks on my Patreon get the videos early. Any video, like I'm going to up the archive of this on YouTube archive. I'm going to put up tonight. It'll be like midnight or something before it goes up, because it takes a while to upload a 2-hour video. And so that'll go up, and people will be able to watch that, and it'll be fine. And then everyone else can watch it tomorrow. And the $10 club gets that. They also get to vote. I put polls up of kits. So they voted this kit over another Lego kit that is now still in my collection. And the next time there's a poll, they'll be able to vote on that as well. Okay. So you got to take a look at that later. But yeah, it is, what was I say? Oh, yeah. I mean, like, obviously, $10 is $10. It adds up for folks. I understand that. Same with $5, even the $1. And then I know plenty of people that don't want to use Patreon. And I respect that and understand that. That's not the service you'd like to use. Totally fine. But it was a bummer to lose someone at the $10 level today. When I wanted to go update some other stuff. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer, but it happens. All right, so we got our minifigs. We're gonna put our minifigs in our bag. We're gonna use bag 2, just kind of keep things organized and that's where our extra pieces are gonna go, which are great to have, obviously. Let's finish knolling and then let's start building, right? So we're gonna put our gray over here. This goes here. This goes there. not trying to do rhyme or reason, just trying to separate, and then I'll condense the pieces once I separate them. Try to make sure things don't roll away, and I'm just putting all of the colors that are not the major colors together over here. Be easier for me to find them later. But yeah, just doing some knolling, and then we'll do some building. I like to always at least have one bag knolled ahead of time. Didn't have the opportunity to do that, but on Saturday I'll have a whole bag ready to go, and that'll be good. But yeah, trying to think if there's anything else I really want to chat about today. Talked about anime and the stuff that's coming up that I'm looking forward to. Finished Gate. I had never finished that series. I'd watched some of it and went back to it. I think I mentioned that previously, that I was kind of slowly working my way through Gate. I like it, I'm a bit of a sucker for the person in a different world show. This one obviously being modern Japan in a fantasy world, entering fantasy world, and the soldiers dealing with that. But there's like it looks like there's two shows coming out this season on Crunchyroll that have that same premise. Or not that same premise, but have the premise of somebody ends up in a magical world. So that should be interesting to see how those are different or similar. Lots of gray in this one. Lots of light gray and some dark gray. Okay, so we'll just do this. Just kind of separate stuff. Make sure that we have everything we need. Yep, and then we'll get ready to build. All right. And build stuff. And build there. And okay. Gate has its good and bad, but I enjoy it. Yeah, Gate is up and down. There's some stuff like, there's some very fucking anime shit in there that I don't love. I do like the idea of otaku entering kind of a fantasy world with and dealing with that, and dealing with like their quote unquote normal friends. I think that's kind of fun. Yeah, there's some stuff that I think is cool and interesting about it. But yeah, overall, I was kind of fun to watch again. And the one show I'm not seriously watching it. I'm just kind of watching a couple episodes. I probably won't watch all of it because there's a lot of it. Is Dog Days. Because it's like a 9-year-old kid gets sucked into a parallel world where there are animal people, like humanoid animals, and there are wars, but the wars, people don't get hurt. The wars are more like sport. They're more like medieval times, like The Place. It's kind of hard to describe. It's an interesting premise for a show. Don't get me wrong. I do think it's an interesting premise. And there's like heroes, and it's like battling. It's kind of an interesting show. It's very cute and very cutesy. Like I said, the main character is 9, and all the animals are like teens dealing with whatever. But like, yeah, you don't die if you get like knocked out of a battle. The wars are almost like Olympic events. So it's kind of an interesting show. And then it gets more real as the show goes on, quote unquote real, and there's conflict and all that. And there's like the later in the show, the person who trained the hero, cousin, ends up like joining another faction, and like it's the whole thing. And there's cat people and dog people and squirrel people, and it's kind of fun. I'll say the best part, the part of the show I like the most is they eventually get these amulets that make them age, and they get older, and then people are like freaked out about that. One, because it's like magic, and two, because it's just like they just become like handsome hero dudes, and people are like, "What's happening?" Yeah, it's pretty fun. Uh, I'm lightly kind of like just checking it out. Like I said, mainly it's because they're just like waiting for new shows to come out. So I'm just kind of like clicking through old stuff. I watched the movie of again of which movie was it? Oh, it was the once again I watched the movie of a regular at Magic School movie, which is kind of cool thing. I like that anime. So I watched the movie again. But yeah, it's just like all the video game people are kind of in a like days post E3. Like they're just either putting up the E3 stuff that they didn't put up yet, or they're kind of like regrouping or getting over illness, or some of the weekly shows I watch are all on vacation. So I was like, okay, well if that's happening, I might as well watch some old stuff. That's been kind of cool. I'll have to investigate what anime stuff um, is coming to Amazon so that I can be better informed for all y'all. Says I would love to chance to build one of those Millennium Falcons or Death Star Lego sets. So yeah, so I did the Millennium Falcon, the Force Awakens Millennium Falcon. That was a fantastic kit to build. Took a while. I loved it. It's probably the biggest kit I've ever made with Lego. And it's one of those that I'm like not gonna give away because obviously I give away kits as I make them. I go through now monthly since the start of this year. I've been giving them away, but those are two that are like those belong to me, Pat Bear. And it's actually the only Lego kit I have on display right now. I have my perfect grade Gundam Wing, perfect grade, the Wing Gundam, and then I have out for display, and then I also have the Millennium Falcon, um, which is not the biggest Millennium Falcon. There's a much bigger Millennium Falcon than the Force Awakens one that I have. There is a bigger version, but I still think mine I'm like really psyched about. Uh, oh yeah, the Games Done Quick is happening. The speedrunning stuff. Yeah. Board. I would say that the speedrunning community adopted a lot of the attempts to be a bit more all ages and not have profanities and stuff early on, not just for the charity, but just in general their own policy. Um, they're very much like so somebody was running a game. I can't remember which game they were playing, but it's a new game that came out like last year, and he's usually used to go into the speedrunning.com stuff, and he didn't realize there was a Discord dedicated to that game, and so they reached out being like, "Hey, please join our Discord," and he's like, "Oh, cool," and they weren't like, "How dare you run this game without us?" Like on that. I will say that last year there was some red hats, some MAGA people were there, which was really frustrating. Sometimes the couch, not necessarily the runner, but the people the runner chose to have on the couch have been less than awesome. One of the things that's happening this year is there is a pretty prolific. I don't remember her name, and so I apologize for not being able to say her name. Um, a trans woman in the community who has been dead named a lot. Um, and which can only kind of be perceived as maliciously, which has been a shame. In general, they're pretty positive about the games they make and about being able to do stuff for charity. But yeah, this year it seems a little bit more uh, shitty in some spots, which is a shame. So I do hope that that community grows up some and becomes more welcoming because just like games in general, speedrunning is for everybody. And there are subset communities that are incredible. It's just that there have been some shitty dudes on stream, and that is a shame. That does also lead to my other thing, like where I generally enjoy if a streamer, if I look in the schedule and there's someone streaming with their real name, I'm more apt to go check them out because I like seeing real names. I have no problem with nicknames, but I do also like seeing or handles, but I like seeing real names. That's actually an interesting change. I'll bring that up. That's not something I don't think I've seen written anywhere because it's not like huge or anything. But so if you're submitting to any of the Penny Arcade Expos for panels, right? Any packs for panels, you fill out a form online, the show description, extra information, technical needs, who's in it, all of that. And the who's in it, the normal categories were the name, the email, company they work for, title, are they a panelist, are they a moderator? That's all they've asked. This year, for the first time, they added nickname slash handle because they want people to, because people were streamers were just putting their handles or their nicknames or their stream names in the name field, and they wanted to see both. And the idea is don't put a nickname unless you want to just be called that. So that way in the program, it'll show up like any streamer's name will show up there. But when it's time for then their actual name can be included as well because they're trying to play nice with more people, which was interesting. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's a change that I didn't necessarily see coming. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Who knows if it means there'll be more streamers going to PAX because of that, or they're just trying, like that was just the feedback they got. But I thought that was kind of interesting. As of right now, I found out that people I normally do stuff with at New York Comic Con are not going to New York Comic Con. So I'm not sure if I am going to go. Like right now, I don't know what I'm doing in New York Comic Con. Now that I could do something with Oni, as I'm doing at San Diego Comic Con with Oni. So there might be a chance for me to do something with them. I'm not sure. There's also always the possibility of me doing something with another company. So as of right now, I will not probably be doing comedy there, but I might do something else. So we'll see. Right now, it is up in the air. I would like to go to PAX at least once. Yeah, if there's any PAXs near you, I highly recommend them. PAX Unplugged only had this year will be the second one. It's the end of November, beginning of December. I highly recommend PAX Unplugged if you like board games. Because it's just a very fun event, and they're going to get so much better. PAX South, there's so much room to play. I have to go back. I went to the first two, have not been back since. Lashbrook says, speaking of PAX and handles, gotta say I'm a little tired of Rugser winning the Omegathon at PAX South. This is their second or third time. That's weird. I will say that is weird, Lashbrook, that someone has been winning multiple times. But I did enjoy PAX South. Shit. Folks that are watching the recorded version of this on YouTube saw no problems, but I just dropped a bunch of frames there. So those of you that are watching live, I apologize for that if that was weird for you. Rich Hertz just subscribed. Thank you so much, Rich. I really appreciate it. That's a tier 1 subscription. That's Board gifted that. Board, that's crazy. Thank you so much for doing that. That's awesome. So that's actually, Board, I'll say this. You're my first person to ever gift on the channel, and that's great. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Rich, welcome. You can now use the Bear Cave emote. There you are. You can now use the Bear Cave emote. You have that power. That is the only benefit. But Board, thank you so much for that. Unplugged is in Philly, Rich, and it's great. PAX East in Boston has a great board game scene, but Unplugged focuses on the board games. You can just sit at a table and people will join you and want to play the game if you just bought it, or there's all these demos of games. They were very professional folks. They were very amateurish folks. It was a great vibe, and I really want to go back to Philly for Unplugged. I don't know if I'll be able to go. Yeah, I might just end up taking the train down and going one day, But yeah, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate. That's our first gifted sub on the channel, and that's rad. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, So I don't know about the rest of the year. Right now, the rest of the year is I'm volunteering at FlameCon in August in New York. I'm going to San Diego Comic Con in July. Um, I'm going to. I'm hopefully going to go to Unplugged. Hopefully going to do something at New York Comic Con, as I said, but I don't know what that's going to be. But Cards Against Humanity is not going back to New York Comic Con this year, which is a shame because I enjoyed working with them the last 2 years. Just not in their schedule, looks like, which is a shame because, like I said, I really enjoyed working with them at those conventions, and there are a few folks I haven't seen in a while, so I was hoping I would be able to see them. All right, so we got to put this engine piece in here. So this goes like this. And that goes like that. Okay. All right, we'll fit that in, and then there's another piece that goes in as well. Yes, it goes. Okay, great. That took a little while. Apologize. I'm just trying to figure this out, and this turbine here will turn. It looks like as things get built, so we can add more pieces and keep moving. Unplugged is the closest thing to you, Rich. Yeah. Yeah. The nice thing of like even last year there was a marathon happening. The Philly Marathon was happening, but still, Airbnbs were very inexpensive. Hotels were very inexpensive, and then I'm here, in New York, so a Amtrak ride down to Philly was not expensive. So it's for me anyway the cheapest packs to get to because Boston is so incredibly expensive. Even I stayed at a weird Airbnb and it was still pretty pricey. Uh, so I'm the hope is that I will be able to do Unplugged. Oops! Oh no, a piece popped off and flew at me. I'm gonna get it now. We dropped our first piece, our first Lego piece of the build. Hopefully that'll be the last one for a while. I'm gonna do my best to be careful about that so we don't continue. I will say it is pretty warm here in my bedroom right now, but these lights are not kicking off as much heat as I thought they would, so I'm very happy about that. They are very big, as you saw in that photo earlier. When you say weird about that being, okay, so Rich, the Airbnb I stayed out in Boston was weird, and I'll explain why it was weird. Because it was a room for rent Airbnb. So it was a regular apartment, and you just rented the room in the apartment, and you had access to shared bath and shared common space, but you didn't know the other person who was going to be in the other bedroom. So this guy bought like an apartment, and then the different like apartment building and the different levels of different apartments he was renting out by room. It was a walk to the convention center, but it was still good, and it was very cheap compared to staying and getting my friends together and staying all together. But each night that I was there, I stayed with a different person. Um, and there was one person I only heard because they were in their room and didn't come out when I was there. But then I saw like they left a hairbrush in the bathroom, and so then I was able to like be like, oh, okay, this is a different person from the last one. Um, so that was weird. Like the fridge was unplugged when I came in because probably other people haven't used a fridge, but I wanted to have like cold beverages, so I had to plug the fridge in. And I only communicated with the Airbnb person via text, which is not weird, but it was text through Airbnb, not through my phone because I don't remember why. But that was weird. So there was some weird to it, Rich. It was not your normal Airbnb experience. Uh, I am staying in a place that has been described. When I go to Seattle, I'm staying in a place that has been described as a crash pad. Um, that is basically someone has a studio apartment, and they have cornered off a section of that studio apartment and put a mattress down. So I don't even have a bed. There's just a mattress, a big queen size mattress, and they are sometimes they are in the apartment and sometimes they are not, is what they said. So I could have a roommate basically, but it's very cheap because I'm going to Seattle this year on my own dime. So basically, all my tax return paid for my flight, and then it's not too expensive for this space because both Seattle and Boston are expensive. Now, Boston is very expensive. Seattle's mostly expensive because it's during a holiday weekend. That definitely increases the price of traveling, the cost of traveling, I should say. But Boston is just incredibly expensive in general. So you do what you got to do. You've never done an Airbnb before, yeah. So Philly, when I did Airbnb in Philly, I got a one bedroom where the couch pulled out to a bed, and I got the space, and then asked around if anybody I knew who in the like Friends of Giant Bomb community wanted to split the room and just take the living room. And I did that, and that worked out pretty good. And like I said, it was pretty reasonably because Philly didn't know we were coming, and the Airbnb people didn't know. The folks don't know. Oh, this is a weekend we could charge more because people are coming that will spend money. Um, so the I'm not worried about the Seattle one. The Seattle one's going to be interesting. The Boston, I was just like, well, I don't ever leave my laptop here. Each bedroom had its own lock that was separate from the front door, so you could lock the bedroom. You just didn't know the person. It was like staying at a hostel, kind of. Um, but like I said, I'm paying a fourth, a fifth of what I normally pay to go out on a holiday weekend to stay a bunch of nights. Like I'm not paying a lot uh, to stay where I am in Seattle, but I'll say this: 1 year in Boston, I spent $800 for 4 nights to stay at a hotel that was good, but it was quite a walk from the convention center. It was not close, and I had purchased that far ahead of time. Uh, so I and the 1 year in Seattle, I got like a good rate, which was still a ton of money where I stayed, and I think I took a video of the room, like the chair for the desk, the old desk in there didn't pull out all the way before it hit the bed. It was like a corner room, so I had gotten a discount on that room, and it was still like not great, and that was still a ton of money. So you get what you pay for. I'm paying very little. I'm not expecting a lot. I'm always going to have my laptop on me. I'm always going to have any gear that I need on me. I'm not leaving anything except clothes. And if I lose my clothes, well, I got the ones I'm wearing. Uh, Rich says you're planning on taking a trip to Arizona in January. Maybe we'll have to check out Airbnb. Yeah, and I think like in some towns, Airbnb, like in the larger cities, it's like it's a business, right? For my job, I had to stay in an Airbnb in New York pretty like last year, and that was like a professional. And in some places, it's just like a person who rents out an apartment realized I can rent this out as an Airbnb, and it's easier for me to rent this as an Airbnb than it is to rent it out long term. So some people do that. They have the place they live in, and then instead of flipping and selling another apartment, they just keep it as an Airbnb, and it is like a business. And for some people, they do that like they use Airbnb to rent out the room in their house. They're like, I have this bedroom. It's got its own separate entrance. I'm going to clean it up, put a bed in there, and then get a little bit of money a month because 4 or 5 times a year, someone's coming to town to see college kids. Like college towns do that a lot for when parents are coming, parents' weekend. Instead of staying in a hotel, they'll stay in an Airbnb. Board says I go to Indianapolis for Gen Con, and downtown hotels outside the block can go for $300 per night for a basic room. Yes, that's going to be tough. And even Airbnbs are going to be expensive there, but there's still deals to be had. When I'm luckily being put up when I go to San Diego Comic Con, but I know people that like leave town that weekend, and the money they charge for their apartment as an Airbnb, like pays their rent for the month for just that weekend, that long weekend. So, like, there's definitely money to be had. I have another friend who only does Airbnb during Dragon Con because they have no interest in Dragon Con anymore because they grew up in Atlanta and they're over it. So they just rent out each room in their apartment, uh, move a bunch of their stuff to a friend's house to kind of keep it safe, and make a ton of money. Which, if you can do it, sounds pretty good. Okay, so this goes like that. And then just trying to figure this out, folks. Give me a second here. And that goes like that. That doesn't seem right. Okay. Go like that. Alright. Just figuring this out here. This one kind of section doesn't make as much sense. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. That's why. I missed a step, and that is causing me confusion. As I said, try not to miss these steps, but I missed two pieces going in, and that caused me to not understand why a thing didn't look right. Because how could it look right if I was doing it wrong? But yeah, I've been doing Airbnb more and more now for PAX because it just makes things easier. The idea in my head is also when I was at PAX Unplugged in Philly, I was able to plug in through Ethernet, and I got to do a live stream while I was there. And that's the dream. San Diego, I'm trying to figure out a way to do a live stream while I'm out there that's not just me on my phone, that's a proper live stream. I'm working on it for San Diego Comic-Con because I want to be able to stream when I'm out there and not go days without doing it or weeks without doing it. So that is that's something that I'm like working on right now, is figuring that out. But yeah, when I go to places, the idea of staying at an Airbnb instead of a hotel means that I could theoretically anyway be able to stream. Because a hotel, even wired hotel, that's never going to work. But someone's apartment, maybe it will work. Maybe their up is good enough that I can do it. So we'll see. That's what I'm working on right now. That's the goal anyway, is to be able to do that when I'm out there, when I'm different places. So Seattle, this weird crash pad I'm staying at, I might be able to stream from there. I don't know. I'll kind of know when I get out there. I'm going to bring gear to do it, and the hope is that I'll be able to do it when I'm out there. But I might end up just like during the time that I normally would stream, just being on my phone, or being on my laptop wired, but like not using my webcams or whatever, just to kind of like hang out, do something with like that doesn't require a lot of data to be transferred. We'll see. All right, this is coming all together. We'll be on bag 3 before you know it, and that goes like that. So we go there. And these go here. Got some extra pieces as always. Lego is very good about that. Sometimes having the bonus pieces, which is very helpful when you're trying to figure out what you did wrong. Just be like, oh, I didn't do that wrong. I just didn't put it in the right spot. Oh, here's something I don't do that often. Podcast recommendations. I don't do podcast recommendations because everybody has the podcast they listen to, and sometimes they end or give up on them. But most of the time, people don't talk about podcasts and that sort of thing. Jonah Ray. Jonah Ray is a stand-up. He was on the Nerdist Network. He was part of the Nerd Show. I support Chloe. I believe Chloe, by the way. That's a separate thing, and we can get into that. Probably not right now, but we can certainly get into that at some point. So we're going to null bag 3 here. Let me try to open this bag down here. Anyway, so Jonah Ray has podcasts. He did it for a long time on the Nerdist. He stopped doing it. He started doing it again. He stopped doing it. He started doing it again because he moved it off the Nerdist Network onto Maximum Fun. Yeah, so Jonah. Jonah's a stand-up. He is also in the revival of Mystery Science Theater 3000. He is an actor in that show and a writer on that show. So you might know Jonah from that. But he has a show called Jonah Radio, RAYDIO. Jonah Radio is an interview show. It's about music. It's comedians talking about music. He plays a lot of music, bands you've never heard of. Lots of punk, lots of noise, lots of cool stuff. Some hip hop, not a lot of hip hop. We'll say that. And he has friends from the comedy world. It's a very good. You might know him from doing bits on Web Soup. He did some bits on Web Soup back in the day, and Jonah had a few other things. He did like some stuff for Attack of the Show and a bunch of things. But Jonah is a great dude. I've known him for a number of years. Really solid, awesome guy. But yeah, this week he had Ted Leo on. And it was awesome. Ted Leo talked about stuff that I have never heard him talk about before. Talking about how, I forget the name of the song, but there was a song of his that was originally meant to be a Christmas song. And then they took out the Christmas stuff out of it, and he always regrets that. Talking about why some of his bands broke up, why he chose to add "And the Pharmacist" to his solo project. He even talks about one of the things that a lot of people know him for, his cover of "Since You've Been Gone" and / Maps, and how the day he was supposed to do this live event thing for a website, he was flipping through the channels and came across VH1, and "Since You've Been Gone" was on it, and he was like, "Oh, this is a good song." And then he went, "Oh, this is Maps. Huh." And so he decided, well, I'm going to learn it, kind of learned it, and then performed it. And that was really cool, because I really like Ted Leo. I think Ted Leo is awesome. Ted Leo is very funny live. He's a very funny dude. Anyway, Jonah is awesome. I love Jonah. So Jonah Ray's podcast is back. Last week they put out like a best of kind of clips things, and they had some stuff with Bobcat Goldthwait on it. It was a good clip thing. Some of the people that come on and do it, like Tony Thaxton, who was in some bands. There's some cool people that do bands. They did like a 3-hour podcast where they had a bunch of different artists come through and perform songs, and it was really cool. As kind of a like, hey, Maximum Fun, we're here. We're part of the network now. I don't know. I'm really into it. I think Jonah is awesome. And yeah, I highly recommend that podcast, Jonah Radio, RAYDIO. But at the very least, this previous episode that just came out this week on Wednesday was really solid. Especially if you like Ted Leo, like I do. And hearing a little bit of stories here and there about the DC punk scene and that kind of stuff. So it was cool. Yeah, I don't know if I have any other recommendations right now. Let's see, is there anything going on in the world, the internet? I mean, yeah, obviously other people have talked about it. Games Done Quick is cool to turn into. I would recommend, as I always recommend, going to gamesdonequick.com and just watching the tab there instead of watching it on Twitch, because that way you don't get the chat. Now, our chat is awesome. This chat is respectful and cool, and sometimes, at worst, this chat is quiet. And at best, it's awesome, and I'm so thankful for it. But, as you might imagine, any other Twitch chat is bad. There's very few chats that are good, especially when you start dealing with lots and lots of people, or people that don't know what they're watching. Maybe they don't know the game or the speedrunner, or they're just jerks. They're just young jerks sometimes. So I would say if you're going to watch Games Done Quick, just go to the website. Don't go to the chat. That way you don't have to engage with garbage. or just memes. Sometimes you don't know what a meme is. I'll say this: I didn't know what big dick energy was. There was a lot of people tweeting about it, and I didn't know what it meant, and I was like not sure I wanted to know. And turns out it wasn't bad. I just didn't really care about what it was. Um, oh, one thing that's kind of cool that's probably flying under the radar. Uh, Big dick energy just means Pete Davidson, who's SNL actor, comedian, is on SNL. He is engaged right now to Ariana Grande. They met at SNL. She was a guest host. They met. They're engaged, and she basically was talking about him in the bedroom, and the phrase "big dick energy" got used. And some people are kind of using it as like the idea of like uh, for folks that have penises to be like, oh, you walk in the room with big dick energy. You've got confidence. You've got that big dick energy. Uh, and so some people are like, oh, it just means that. And other people are like, no, Ariana Grande was talking about having good sex with her fiance, which is also great. I'm favor of a huge pop star talking about how she's enjoying herself sexually with her fiance. I think that's great. I'm happy about that. Uh, Pete Davidson, I could go either way on as a person. I don't necessarily love that dude. That dude has said some stuff that has said some things in the past that I didn't love. Um, Particularly, I believe his at the time opinion on Occupy Wall Street. I did not agree with. I thought that he was kind of shitty about it. And yeah, I overall not a huge fan of that dude. But hey, uh, yeah, bored. You're talking about moderated chat. Yeah, like I don't have any mods for the chat here because it's small, right? So I don't really worry about that. But if I was a bigger channel like Kate has sometimes her mods are a little overzealous, I think. But for the most part, they are very passionate about building and continuing to keep a very strong, awesome community. And I really appreciate that. They work very hard. Yeah, and Will has some good people as well when he's up and running. He has some good support for that, which I appreciate. Yeah, when I get real big here, I'll have to invest in some modders, get some cool people to do their thing. Um, what's that? Was there another meme that I didn't understand? I think it was we were talking about. Actually, that does remind me because they talked about it on the show. Um, there is a new Comedy Central is doing a show. I believe it's called Every Damn Day. There's episodes Monday through Thursday. It's on their Facebook and also I believe on their YouTube. And it's a bunch of friends of mine are part of it. The idea is that it's their digital content, and they gave Nate Dern. He's a comedian who was the former artistic director of the UCB. He was the head writer of Funny or Die's writing staff news when they had a New York office. Is a solid person that I'm a big fan of. Is running it, and there's a few people that I think are great on it. And it's just they're doing like some roundtable stuff. They're doing some segments. My friend Natasha just did a segment about John Cena that was clearly a goof and very silly, but she still managed to have an attitude adjustment reference in it and they cut to the guy that knows wrestling and he was like, gave a nod. And I gave a nod at home because I thought it was good. It was like a good reference. She did a good job. But yeah, I think it's called Every Damn Day. I want to say it's called. I don't know. It's on their Facebook and YouTube. But I'm happy Comedy Central is putting a little money into digital because everyone ran away from digital, it seems like, because Facebook ruined it for everyone again. Between Facebook and YouTube, like I know YouTube is now trying to do its monetized, like they're trying to do like their subscription thing, but like the number of people you need to have as regular followers for it to make sense is a ridiculously high number. And I'm like, nope, forget that. I'm happy I have the subscribers I have. I'm happy to still be in a program where I can monetize a few of the things I do. I do monetize all my videos on YouTube. Uh, I don't get a huge amount of views on those, but I do. Um, for stuff like Let Pat Play and the other series that I've done, and then these as well. One of the reasons why I've been very happy about the success of shows like the panel I do, um, the postmortem panel, is because it's like original content that I can just put up there and maybe make $1 or two. Still never been paid out by YouTube, but someday I'll actually make enough money that they have to write me a check or direct deposit. I do a little bit here on Twitch, as you know, from my thankfully for my subscribers. Obviously, have not built up enough to be partner. I've not applied for partner. I'm still here as a doing my thing with this, but someday maybe it'll happen. I don't know. There's certainly obviously benefits to being in the partner program. Uh, but I'm not looking for, as this is a job. This is a fun extra thing I do with folks. Because if it was a job, having 7 viewers right now, as I'm running it on the thing, I would be frustrated instead of just like, yeah. Being at 20 subscribers right now. At the moment, I am at 20 subscribers, which is awesome. But I would be chasing a higher number if this was like what I was attempting to do for a living. I'd be chasing that. I'd be really going after the higher numbers and more viewers and all that, and trying to get on other people popular streams and being like, what do I got to do to get that? And going to other people's chats and promoting my streams and doing all kinds of nonsense. I don't have to do any of that because right now this is just a fun extra thing. I'm committed to continue to do it. I want you people to know that streaming is a thing that I am going to keep doing. In July, I will hit my 1-year anniversary. In October, I'll hit my 1 year as being an affiliate. But I have no plans to stop. I like to, like I said, my Patreon goal of adding another day is something that I certainly would. There's probably an equivalent to subscriber numbers I would hit that I would add a third day. I don't know what that is. That's math I could certainly do and might be beneficial to be able to say that. Like, I want to hit $150 a month on Patreon or this many subscribers a month. And that's something I can look into, possibly being able to commit to. But right now, I don't know. I don't have that number. Can't stop, won't stop. That's right, Board. I very much enjoy streaming, and people have come up to me at PAX East. It was nice to see people there that knew me and talk to them about the stuff I do with streaming, and they enjoyed it. And I've had a few folks kind of jump in on it. Hasn't built as fast as I would like, certainly. Love to, would love to have 100 subscribers, but I understand that's not, I'm not playing the game particularly in that direction, so I can't expect that stuff. But hopefully in the future it'll grow and more people will be able to check it out because I do think it's cool. I think this is a fun thing. I am excited to continue doing it, so I just want to be able to have more people be able to have fun with it. Yeah, I think that's my biggest thing is that right now I'm just wishing that more people could see it. Oops. All right, I put these two pieces together by mistake. I'm going to try to separate them. What I'm going to do is so I have these two together, and I don't want them together. I'm actually going to put them down so that see if I can just separate one out of these two, which I did, and then I'll separate the other one. That I'll do it again. Just why not? So I have these two. They were stuck together. I put them together by mistake. I'm going to put them on here. Use my separator. Pop off the one. Pop off the other. It's a lot easier than trying to separate them with just holding them like that. This is way easier. But yeah, fix my mistake. Way simpler than back in the day when I was starting out with Lego as a child. That was a nightmare. That might have required asking my dad for his knife and shoving a knife in there to pry them apart, or pliers or something. So getting some kind of wedge. So love that. Pardon me, I'm going to cough. Take a sip of water. Pardon me for that. And yeah. Okay. And then put this on here. Nope, not that piece. This piece, and then one of these goes on there. And this fits on the side of this ship here. I love streaming as well. I wish my numbers were better. I still haven't gotten enough of for a payout from Twitch, but I really like streaming. Yeah, Harold, it's I've been able to manage a few. I've certainly built up enough of a following that happens. It's not consistent. It's not all the time. It's not I wouldn't call it like a vast sum of what, but it's been enough income that I've been able to keep doing that. And you've been doing it more in the summer. Yeah, I've seen Harold that you've been streaming a lot. I'd like to do it 3 times a week. As I said, right now that's not feasible. But someday I will be able to stream 3 times a week, and that will be very cool. All right, so I'm gonna put this other piece on. We'll do this other piece here, and we'll finish up there. And then on Thursday we will continue with our building. We'll have more Lego pieces. I'll have this all knolled, and I'll have probably the next bag knolled, and we'll continue. And we'll probably finish this up on Saturday. If we don't finish it on Saturday, we'll be very close when we come back next Thursday. So let's continue this, and then we'll wrap up. But yeah, want to finish this off. Won't finish the whole bag, but we'll at least get some of it done, which will be good. And this goes like this. This goes like that. And then I just have to make sure that I'm not skipping a step in my movement. Yeah, so my next stream will be on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, as usual, to 11 p.m. Eastern, continuing the 2 hours. If your Twitch coin is going to lapse, make sure that you resubscribe, because that is my giveaway. It's the end of the month giveaway. I will be giving away 2 kits. I'm going to look that up right now, which ones that is. I've got it listed here. I got to find it. I am giving away the Wing Gundam Zero Master Grade, which I was trying to give away last month, but the subscriber never got back to me, so I could not give it away to that person. So someone's going to get that. And then also the RX-7805, which was the Gundam kit we built that was based on a video game, and it had a really cool gun. That's an awesome one. So I'm excited to give that away. That was a fun kit to build. So yeah, so someone's going to win each of those kits, and then I will mail them out to them in July at some point. So I hope that you can join me on Saturday, and if you're a subscriber, you might win one. Unless you're one of the 3 subscribers that has told me, hey, if you get my name, just run it again. So because there are a couple of y'all that were just like, I don't want a kit. Don't give me one. I don't have room for kits. All right, so there it is. We're gonna stop there. We got a few more pieces to put on, but we will put those in our bag. We will knoll them again, and we'll get back to it on Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me on the Build with Baer Workshop. We've got some progress done here on our kit. I'll have to take a photo of that along with my Kid Buu figure. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for chatting. I'll see you on Saturday. I'll be so sleepy on Saturday. I'll have worked 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. and then taken a nice long nap, eaten something, and then gotten into building with all of you. But yeah, we'll keep working on our Lego kit. And thanks so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.